I just want to know, Mike, fifth generation, you've been in the forefront of the church struggle. What does that make you feel like? You feel stronger?
Yeah, but I feel stronger, of course, because just like I said, I never knew the depth of history of the church. When I got into the fight for it was like late 2017, I think it was, and I remember the months prior, I think in the summer, late spring maybe. There's so much stuff going on in Venice all the time. VNC is doing this, so and so is doing that. So when I got it, I was like, it's the email. I was like, okay, the church now, this church, and I was kind of like just like a little overwhelmed, and not until Pam Anderson had kind of made a little more effort to like call me up and let me know, hey, we need to do something. As I've been in this battle for the church, it's I feel like I'm an empath, so a lot of times I feel things before I know the factual details of it. So being in the church, you could just feel the immensity of the place and the history there. So as we had to dig up this history and really elevate it and really show and communicate people this history, this beautiful history, and it's a wall of history, and there's so much more history, but a lot of people who are not here anymore, they're not, it makes it a little harder to get that information, but it's there, and I just feel as I'm in the battle for this church, I'm right there in the middle of the neighborhood, Oakland neighborhood, and then like I said, I'm adjacent to a place where my dad was killed in '83 on the on Brooks, the second or third house off of Brooks, right across from the park. And so as I'm doing a lot of this work to bring justice and balance to the black history, to the non-white history, to the native history, to the marginalized history of Venice, and or like I said, the spirit that's being attacked in Venice, the real true spirit of the land. It's made me stronger in the sense that it's been making me heal and reflect a lot more on myself and my family, because as I walk through these streets every day, every Sunday to go through, like I know someone who died in this corner, or I feel my grandma, or just I'm wondering, okay, putting myself in my not just my great grandmas, but my great great grandma who lived here way back in the 30s and all that stuff too. Like that church was around, that church was there too. I'm just kind of contemplating, putting myself like, it's made me stronger, but in the sense it's tenderized me a lot more, just in terms of my spirit and really having to feel and put myself in the place, because they say that we carry the DNA and the spirit of our ancestors. We are the contingent of our ancestors. So being all that history here, it's this church has been I say like a beautiful well of within the fight and then the struggle and some of the frustrations and hardships we've had in fighting for this church. It's been a beautiful process, at least for me, and I think a lot of people who've been to the church, people who fought for the church, and who see the history, and as these beautiful little pieces come up, sometimes we'll get some people who randomly come like, oh, I found these church cards from 1965 in the library here they are. So you get all these little signs from the ancestors that you're doing good things, and it's I guess, there's no simple answer for me, but yeah, it's definitely made me stronger, and yeah.
Hey Mike, man, I just want to say thank you. I've known you most of my life, man, and I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm very proud of you on board.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So Mike, I would like to know how you see the future in terms of the efforts that you and some of us are trying to make,
Right.
and what you think is the best way to kind of bring in what seems like disparate views, but we're all talking the same language.
Right.
So how do we bring people in to talk really about Bahar talked about unity and strength, and Spud is talking about how we get representation of other contributions that other people have made, and so that we have a more diversified representation of different experiences, but all for the same goal as we try to move forward and unite the community and have better recognition of the contributions of Black and brown and other people that contributed to the development of Venice.
Right. Thank you. That's a great question. So for the first part, as far as where do I see it going and the business for the future, I think I don't think I know. I feel it. I see it happening, taking form. It's that this group that we've had from St. Venice, that's this group of superheroes who gather every Sunday in front of the church. I've only really been active in Venice activism for the last maybe 6-7 years, and I've seen a lot, hang out with a lot of different groups, and all respect to a lot of different groups, but I've never seen a group like ours in terms of the true embodiment of Venice. A lot of times you see a lot of these other activism groups, and I said not to disparage anything, but a lot of times that they're very homogenous, whether they're racially or economically or in terms of their tenure, their residency in Venice. But if you come to our group, you really see a passionate group, different racial background, different residency. Some are lived here for like 5 years, some have lived here, like I said, multi-generational. You get some tourists that come through and show their support. So the diversity we have is some I've never seen, whether just in my experience of activism in Venice or just in the history of, reading the Venice Beachhead or other local magazines. I've never seen that. So I think what we have is really powerful in the sense that we really embody that true diverse spirit of Venice. And like any other movement, there's times when you get kinks in some of the organizing, or there's some little speed bumps you reach, but overall I see us getting stronger and more united. And I've noticed just the little things that we do, especially when we have the fact that a lot of our organizing is rooted, whether it's spiritually rooted, I'm Native tradition, a lot of people are Christian, and we're fighting for this church, or rooted in the neighborhood. And I think for any movement to succeed, you have to go to the original people of the land. So there's a Native, Black, or the original Venetian element within our movement. And that's one of the keys to success. A lot of times you get people coming in with these top-down hierarchical solutions. You get the expert activists from somewhere else come in and try to tell us how to do it. But no, here we are, an organic bunch, moving forward. And I noticed that when we have that organic, diverse bunch, even though our group is relatively small, it's very powerful in terms of the power that we wield. I've seen it could just be a few of us at a meeting, but people, when they see me, Spud, you, Steve, Margaret, John, if they see us together, 6, 7 of us, whatever, at the meeting or doing whatever, I can see the, I don't want to say intimidation, but that they recognize, I feel people recognize our power in that unity, and because we have those roots, we have that spirit, and I see it evolving more. And as far as how you referenced how to create more of that unity, I feel it's as we, trying to stay rooted within the concerns of the original community. Not to say that we're not open to understanding the concerns of the newer people in the community, but ultimately to create that balance and to create that justice, we have to create it with the people who've been here first. So